Welcome to Video 1, Introduction to Comparing and Labeling Magnitudes. The subitizing and counting activities you've been teaching thus far are crucial for developing children's understanding of how numbers represent quantities, which is a great achievement. But in order to move beyond counting, children need to develop a strong sense of which numbers are larger and which are smaller, and how far apart different pairs of numbers are. These kinds of relationships between numbers are obvious to most adults because we have developed a strong and flexible mental number list. A mental number list is just that, an image or idea of the sequence of increasing numerical values we call on to solve number-related problems. For example, when we want to know if we have the 4 eggs we need to make a quiche, if we know there are 3 eggs in the bowl, and we also know there is 1 more in the fridge, we know we have enough. We don't have to put all the eggs together in the bowl and count them to know that we have 4. We simply move 1 space up our mental number list and land on 4 eggs. The best way for young children to develop their own mental number list is through lots of experiences comparing numbers to one another. That's why in this module, instead of focusing their attention on the total amount of a single set, you will help children think about 2 numbers at the same time. When we think about 2 numbers simultaneously, the comparison makes the differences between them pop and become clearer to us. At first, when children compare numbers, they tend to notice which number is bigger and which is smaller, learning to construct statements such as 5 is more than 3 and 2 is fewer than 4. This module shows you how to build on these ideas to create an understanding of the increasing magnitude principle. This principle is the simple idea that later numbers in the count sequence are always larger than earlier numbers. The next step in building children's mental number list is to help them get more familiar with each of the steps in the list. So they know, for example, that 6 is always right after 5 without having to count up from the number 1 each time. When children have some confidence with this idea, they are ready to think about the fact that each number is exactly 1 more than the number it follows, an idea commonly called the successor principle. This module's 6 key instructional practices will guide you through a series of discrete steps to encourage children to develop their own mental number list. They also support you to begin to introduce numerals, the written symbols we use to represent numbers. The key instructional practices include: prompt children to compare subitizable or obviously different-sized collections using more than, fewer than, and same number as. Help children discover the increasing magnitude principle, that the later a number word appears in the counting sequence, the larger the quantity it represents. Encourage children to apply the increasing magnitude principle to compare collections more precisely by counting. Help children focus on neighboring numbers by asking what comes after, and eventually what comes before, questions about the number sequence. Help children discover the successor principle, that each sequential number is exactly 1 more by asking, what is 1 more than, and eventually what is 1 fewer than, questions. Pair visual representations of quantity to both number words and numerals to create meaningful 3-way associations. The developmental progression for comparing and labeling magnitudes will also help you understand how children's knowledge of number relationships grows with time and experience. The progression is divided into 5 sections. 1. Counting-based comparisons of sets larger than 3. 2. Number after knowledge. 3. Mental comparisons of close or neighboring numbers. 4. Number after equals 1 more. And 5. Labeling quantities. You will use these categories as you monitor children's progress during Module 3. By focusing on how numbers relate to one another, this module shows you how to help children develop a more fluid and flexible understanding of the number sequence. It will provide you with the means for helping children create their own mental number list, an achievement that will support their mathematical thinking and understanding for a lifetime.